Tonight, bringing back the Blitz.
During the 10-day operational period, that trend shifted.
How soon Winnipeg police expect to start cracking down on open drug use, and what's different about the program this time. Also tonight.
For the city and the region to keep growing and for our economy to keep moving, we got to build this kind of infrastructure.
How much money the province is putting towards the long-awaited Phase 3 of the North End Sewage Treatment Plant. Plus, narrowing down the notifications.
It's easier for them to issue it, easier for them to update it, and that's all good things.
The weather alert system is getting an overhaul. What it means for the next time severe weather rolls through your area.
CTV News. Live from downtown Winnipeg with Marilee Caruso.
Another crackdown on open drug use in Winnipeg is on the way. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Tomorrow, police are kicking off a 3-month-long targeted blitz in specific areas of the city. But they're going to do things a little differently this time around. To explain, CTV's Danton Unger joins us now live. Danton, what changes are police making for this new crackdown?
Well, Marilee, Winnipeg's police chief says community organizations should have been a part of the first blitz. So this time, uniformed officers will be partnering with urban Indigenous groups, letting them cover the outreach side of things.
Winnipeg police are set to begin another drug blitz.
Enforcement isn't a solution by itself, but it has a place.
It comes after the 10-day crackdown in June on open drug use in downtown and Point Douglas, areas police say had seen increasing crime and calls for service, as well as the highest rates of naloxone administration in the city. On Thursday, police gave a first look at the results of that blitz. 106 arrests, including 93 for warrants or breaches, 5 for drug possession, and 3 for drug trafficking. 7 people were also taken into the 72-hour drug detention center. As a result, police say compared to the same time last year, property crime dropped 10.5% to 263 incidents. Violent crime was down 16.5% to 106 incidents, and emergency calls were down 6% to 155 calls.
In the week or two following, we did see kind of a sustainment of results in terms of crime.
However, the initial crackdown faced heavy criticism from some in the community who were concerned it was doing more harm than good for those struggling with addiction and homelessness. So Police Chief Gene Bauer says this time they'll be doing it differently.
That community organizations should have been part of our efforts, hence we're here today.
Uniformed officers will be working with community outreach teams, part of a new coalition of 11 urban Indigenous and homelessness advocacy groups.
Indigenous organizations lead the engagement through their trusted relationships, cultural knowledge, and lived experience, while police provide support and resources where appropriate.
It's an approach Winnipeg Mayor Scott Gillingham is happy to see.
We can be compassionate towards those who are struggling with addiction and yet still not tolerate open illegal drug use.
As you mentioned, Marilee, this new crackdown will begin tomorrow. It's going to continue until November, when police will reassess the program.
Do we know what areas of the city that will be targeted as part of this new crackdown?
Yeah, it's going to continue in the downtown and Point Douglas areas like before, though police will now also be adding Osborne Village.
All right, thanks for this, Danton. The Premier has confirmed the province is stepping in to help fund Phase 3 of the city's North End Sewage Treatment Plant project.
We're good for $500 million towards the North End water treatment plant. This is a big project for more housing. We got to keep the economy moving here. And not only are we making the investment here, but we've been doing the negotiations with the feds to get them there for their share. And we just want to make sure that the city delivers this thing on budget now.
Phase 3 of the massive project is projected to cost some $1.57 billion. It's focused on building a new facility to help remove nutrients from treated water, making it cleaner when it enters the river. The province previously committed more than $432,000 to Phase 1 and 2, more than half of which has already been paid out already. The first phase was completed earlier this year, and the second phase is expected to get underway in the back half of this year. The entire project is expected to cost more than $3 billion. A city report last month said the new facilities are expected to begin treating biosolids in October of 2030 and will be complete by the following March. This summer, Winnipeg cell phones have been buzzing with frequent tornado alerts. But those warnings don't always lead to actual tornadoes in our area. Now, though, as CTV's John Hendricks shows you, Environment Canada is updating its warning system.
When tornadoes were spotted in southern Manitoba back in early June, Adriana Moreno got a number of warnings on her phone.
I remember that my phone was beeping all the time.
Which would have been great had she been close to the area where the tornadoes were, but she wasn't.
Maybe they didn't need that warning.
In the future, people like Moreno may get fewer of those false alarm warnings. Environment Canada is modernizing its alert system to provide more precise severe thunderstorm and tornado warnings by utilizing a polygon warning system. In a statement, a spokesperson writes, forecasters outlined the area most likely to be affected by a severe thunderstorm or tornado and send a warning only to people in that area. These alert areas are also known as free-form polygons.
The United States have been using the system, this type of an approach for warnings for many years.
John Hanasak is an atmospheric science professor at the University of Manitoba. He says the polygon warning system is much more targeted to the areas where the storm is actually heading.
So people that are within, say, a half an hour or an hour of the storm, depending on how fast it's traveling, they would actually have the warnings go out just for that localized area as opposed to a whole bunch of people getting the warning.
And that will mean fewer false alarms for people like Adriana Moreno.
It's going to be a good thing.
The new system is expected to go online Tuesday, August 14th. John Hendricks, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Despite the new system, Environment Canada is warning intrusive alert-ready messages on TV and radio will not be noticeably more precise. That's because of just how large the broadcast areas are. However, it says wireless messages will be more precise and fewer mobile users will receive any given alert. Well, it may be summer outside tonight, but it is Christmas inside one of this week's Folklorama pavilions. CTV's Taylor Brock is at the Scandinavian pavilion, which the theme, I understand, is all centered around Nordic Christmas traditions. Taylor?
It is, Marilee, and you correctly assumed it is still summer, but Christmas in here. I'm here with George at the Scandinavian pavilion, who's gonna try to show me some dance moves. I'm a little nervous because there's a big group behind us of people who actually know how to do these things. So, George, can you show me a move or two?
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to show you a move. So this is a move that my dance group is doing for our Folklorama dances. And so you're going to start with your right foot. You're going to go heel. Then you're going to go toe. Then you're going to go heel. And with the other leg, you're going to kick up.
At the same time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so you're going to go heel, toe, heel, kick up.
Oh, boy. Like you
other foot, and then heel, toe, heel, kick up.
Oh no, the camera was on me.
It's okay. One more time.
Okay, let's try.
Heel, toe, heel, kick up.
Okay.
Heel, toe, heel, kick up.
Yeah, I have no rhythm, but I think these guys do. All right, can you show me how people are actually supposed to dance? So that's what it's supposed to look like? Feel the floor shaking. That is so cool. Well, Marilee, this is how it's supposed to be done. We're still here at the Folklorama Pavilion all night, and I will not be dancing anymore.
Colleen, I have a feeling this is like, you know, when you have to like do the circle and tap your head.
Yes.
It's a lot harder than it looks.
Yes, and they make it look easy, don't they? But yes, they are very talented, those dancers.
They do, yes. We'll check back in with Taylor in a little bit, see what else she can take us on a tour of Scandinavia yet before the hour's out. Right now, though, what are you tracking for us weather-wise?
Severe thunderstorms, or the potential of them, here in the southeast and in northwestern Ontario. We had a trough of low pressure that swung through Manitoba yesterday, hit the repeat button, only this one is more potent. The atmosphere is more unstable, and the result are thunderstorms that at times have already been severe in southeastern Manitoba, up around Bloodvein. That storm now is non-severe, but it could become severe once again. Now, Winnipeg and all of southeastern Manitoba under a severe thunderstorm watch, as is parts of northwestern Ontario. Okay, now this just changed in the last couple of minutes, so otherwise that yellow should have been a little bit closer to me to show you where the storm is that is severe right now. It looks like it's pushed off even further to the east. The last information we had from Environment Canada was that it was moving quickly. The weather agency noted at about 60 kilometers an hour to the east around Oak Lake, but it looks like it's pushing even further off to the east right now. So more details on that and the potential for severe thunderstorms in Winnipeg yet tonight. Doesn't mean they're going to happen, but the conditions are in place right now for the possibility that that could happen here in southeastern Manitoba. I'll tell you more about that a little later on when I can clearly articulate myself just a little bit better than I am right now. Let's take a look right now through the CTV Live Eye. It's brought to you by Bath Fitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. It is cloudy right now. It's 25. It feels like 29 with the humidex merrily. Winds out of the southwest at 16 kilometers an hour. The pressure is dropping, and the humidity right now is 56%.
Thanks, Colleen. Well, if you were hoping to hit the greens at Gilbert Plains Country Club Golf Course this summer, you're out of luck. That course is closed for the rest of the season. The call was made due to, quote, ongoing conditions, repairs, and construction affecting the course. The area was hit with a massive amount of rain last month. With the season ending early, the club says the men's league is also canceled. It's now working on next steps to get refunds out, and it's holding a 50-50 fundraiser to help pay for the insurance deductible. The draw for that is set for August 30th. A driver who was drunk when he hit and killed two cyclists in Winnipeg last September has been sentenced to 8 years in prison. Kuldeep Singh Gill was arrested a few hours after the crash on Kenaston Boulevard. He left the scene of the high-speed crash, which killed 31-year-old Igor Popov and his common-law partner, 25-year-old Carrie Bonner. The judge handed down the sentence Tuesday. Gill previously pleaded guilty in February to 2 counts of impaired driving causing death and 2 counts of leaving the scene of a fatal crash. Both Popov and Bonner died from multiple blunt force injuries sustained in the collision, leaving their then 9-month-old daughter orphaned. The judge also ordered a lifetime driving ban in Canada based in part on a previous impaired driving conviction in Manitoba. Court heard Gill, who is a permanent resident born in India, most likely faces deportation after serving his sentence. Gill apologized in court for what he described as a terrible and selfish decision. Shoppers can now load up on groceries and grab a bottle of wine, all in the same place.
You can grab your mix and grab your hard stuff at the same time.
A new concept liquor mart is now open inside Save-On Foods at Northgate Shopping Centre. It's a bit different, though, from the existing Liquor Mart Express stores. All of the alcohol here is behind glass and is only accessible by an employee. A digital menu board lists the available products and prices, and shoppers order, pay for, and collect their products through a service window.
What this brings here is our great convenience of being able to shop here with, a limited number of employees that still bring that service to the consumer with that knowledge and that product expertise.
Manitoba Liquor and Lottery says the store will be managed by 1 to 2 employees at a time. It's also the first fully cashless liquor mart. If the store proves popular with the public, Liquor and Lottery says other locations will follow. Average home prices continued their upward trajectory across the Winnipeg region last month, even as total sales declined. The latest report from the Winnipeg Regional Real Estate Board shows the average price for a residential detached home rose to about $454,000. That's up 2% compared to July and 6% higher than the 5-year average. The average condo price also rose 2% to just shy of $291,000. Total sales for all listings fell 9% from last July. The Stanley Cup is coming to Winnipeg next week. After helping claim hockey's ultimate prize this season with the Carolina Hurricanes, Seth Jarvis plans to bring the cup back to his hometown. Now, according to the Hurricanes, Jarvis will spend part of his day on August 10th at Tuxedo Community Center with an event which is open to the public. It gets underway at 1 p.m. and those in attendance will get to meet Jarvis and get a photo with him and the Stanley Cup. Jarvis grew up in Winnipeg and played for the Tuxedo Lightning, Assiniboine Park Rangers, and the Winnipeg Monarchs. He was selected by the Hurricanes in the 2020 NHL Draft, 13th overall. The Winnipeg Goldeyes are on a streak. The team's 14-5 win Wednesday against the Chicago Dogs was its 11th consecutive victory. That actually ties a franchise record which was set back in 2014. That year, the team finished the regular season with a franchise record 63 wins and claimed first place in the North Division. The Goldeyes currently sit second in their division this season with 38 wins. The Goldeyes will try to break that winning streak record tonight as their 4-game series against the Dogs concludes at Blue Cross Park. A critically endangered butterfly is displaying significant steps towards recovery in Manitoba thanks to the release of 199 of them this year. It's called the Powashik skipperling. The dark orange and brown colored butterflies are currently only found in the Tallgrass Prairie Preserve here in Manitoba, as well as Flint, Michigan. Assiniboine Park Conservancy and the Nature Conservancy of Canada have been working together to help save this butterfly from extinction. At Assiniboine Park Zoo, conservation scientists are breeding them in a controlled environment before releasing them back into the wild. And this year, it had the second highest release rate in the program's history, pointing towards a positive direction.
One really major sign of success is that we released a bunch into a new site a couple of years ago, a reintroduction. So they were no longer found in this one patch of prairie. And then the following year, we saw wild individuals there. So that means the ones we released bred, laid eggs, and those eggs survived all the way through to adulthood the next year and were found in that site again. And we've seen that now for 3 years in a row.
The overall health of the population is showing significant improvement. There's a 19-time increase in observations of them at sites since annual monitoring began in 2018. Meantime, scientists have collected nearly 800 eggs in preparation for next year's release. 2 more Manitoba communities are being sprayed for mosquitoes to reduce the risk of West Nile virus exposure. Data from last week shows high numbers of adult Culex tarsalis mosquitoes and evidence of West Nile infestation in the areas around Morden and the municipality of Boissevain-Morton. The province will spray Morden and an area 3 kilometers into the Arm Stanley, as well as a 3.5-kilometer radius around the intersection of Highway 10 and North Railway Street in Boissevain. The dates for fogging have not yet been announced. As of July 31st, 91 mosquito samples tested positive for West Nile virus. Still to come tonight, 2 teens are arrested in connection to a drive-by shooting at the U.S. Consulate.
They don't care. It takes 5 seconds to let those shots fire through the window.
Why police say they were hired to pull the trigger. That's next. Look at the markets tonight. Crude oil added $2. The loonie posted a small gain. Gold futures were up $5.60. The TSX slipped slightly. The Dow Jones dropped 464 points, while the Nasdaq also lost a bit of ground. A new grocery store is setting up shop at a Winnipeg mall. Canada's largest Asian grocery retailer, T&T Supermarket, is opening its first Manitoba store at CF Polo Park. The supermarket features a hot food bar, fresh Asian produce, baking, and Asian beauty products. The company, based in Richmond, BC, has been operating since 1993, but has seen rapid growth in recent years. It now has more than 40 locations across North America, including 37 in Canada. The Winnipeg store will occupy 48,000 square feet on the lower level of the mall. It's expected to open in the spring of 2028. Trade talks are underway in Washington, and with the new tariff deadline less than 2 weeks away, there is some cautious optimism, even though just yesterday Donald Trump described Canada as nasty. CTV's Mike LeCouture reports.
Canada's minister in charge of Canada-U.S. trade was overtly optimistic heading into his meeting with U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer. Dominic LeBlanc says he's hopeful a deal can be reached before 50% tariffs kick in August 19th. A clear contrast to President Donald Trump's comments Wednesday night.
Canada's nasty. They're nasty.
At an aluminum plant hit hard by American tariffs, Prime Minister Carney had a more measured tone.
C'est une négociation tough.
He called the negotiations tough, conceding one could also use the word nasty. Carney made no apologies for wanting a comprehensive deal that addresses tariffs on the steel, aluminum, auto, and forestry sectors.
Will we get all of that by the 19th of August? We'll see, but we want to have pathways in order to get that.
Opposition leader Pierre Poilievre says Carney hasn't been tough enough, adding Canada got nothing for removing counter tariffs on the U.S. and for ditching the digital services tax on American tech firms.
We're calling on him to take the leverage that he has not yet squandered, take it to the bargaining table, and get something in return for a change.
There has been a suggestion to leverage our energy and potash exports to the U.S. Well, that move could also impact Canadians. This former special advisor on Canada-U.S. relations to Prime Minister Justin Trudeau believes it shouldn't be discounted.
In the sense that we know it would have tremendous impact on the U.S. and be very effective leverage in this relationship right now.
Canada's supply-managed dairy sector has been an irritant to the Americans in these negotiations. Carney defended the decades-old policy, saying it helps consumers and farmers. Hardly a shock, considering he was also campaigning with his candidate for a by-election in Quebec at the end of the month. Mike Lecouteur, CTV News, Ottawa.
Meanwhile, Pierre Poilievre is questioning the Prime Minister's strategy in trade talks with the United States. The Conservative leader says Mark Carney is making concessions before even getting to the negotiating table.
He backed down on the digital services tax, the Netflix tax. He agreed to Mr. Trump's demands on military spending and counter tariffs. Many of these things were going to have to happen, but why not bring them to the bargaining table and get something in return for them?
Poilievre says the PM needs to focus on the results he promised about getting a trade deal done. Carney recently said Canada's tone towards the U.S. is quite firm and insists trade negotiations with Washington are constructive. 2 teenagers are in custody, and police believe they are part of a so-called criminals for hire network. The teens were arrested in connection with the most recent shooting at the U.S. Consulate in Toronto. Adrian Gabriel reports.
This is the moment at least one shot was fired at the U.S. Consulate in downtown Toronto, sparking a Canada-wide national security investigation.
2 males, one 19 years old and the other just 15 years old, are now in custody and facing multiple criminal charges.
The teens, according to police, who are said to have been driving this white Honda Accord with no license plate, were lured by a gun-for-hire scheme playing out on encrypted messaging applications.
Criminals are exploiting encrypted technology to recruit young people and coordinate serious criminal acts.
Online recruiting is also believed to have been a factor in another shooting at Toronto's U.S. Consulate on March 10th of this year. In that case, bullets were aimed near the front doors, where just inside a portrait of President Donald Trump hangs. Multiple separate arrests have already been made in that case.
There's marked police cars on the boulevard in front of the U.S. Consulate 24/7. They don't care. It takes 5 seconds to let those shots fire through the window.
Former Toronto Police homicide detective Mark Mendelson believes there are multiple levels of criminals pulling the strings who remain elusive.
If this, in fact, is being done through encrypted messaging apps, how much more difficult is it for police to find who's behind these hires?
Without question, we don't know who is the person actually engaging in all of this. Who's the one that wants that work done?
Each of those arrested in the July shooting at the consulate were out on probation, leading to renewed calls from Toronto's top cop for the justice system to do its part through the new Bail Sentencing Reform Act.
We need proper deterrence and justice reform.
Many have shared their fear that until the new legislation is tested in court and violent offenders remain in custody, terrorizing scenes such as this will only continue.
Toronto police sharing that their investigation, which is in lockstep with the RCMP, is still ongoing as they work to uncover who's financing, directing, and organizing these gun-for-hire attacks. Adrian Gabriel, CTV News, Toronto.
The union representing WestJet cabin crew released details of the tentative deal with the airline. Now, according to the Canadian Union of Public Employees, the deal includes an 18% wage hike over 3 years, pay for work on the ground, more time off, and higher food and uniform allowances. Workers will vote on the agreement in the coming weeks. In Washington, a Senate committee voted today to hold Dr. Anthony Fauci in contempt of Congress and to refer him to the Justice Department for potential prosecution.
Dr. Fauci faced no risk of federal prosecution. All he had to do was tell the truth. More than 100 times, though, he refused. The chair ruled that Dr. Fauci's assertion of the Fifth Amendment privilege was unsupported in light of the pardon and the testimony he offered in his opening statement.
The vote focused on Fauci's refusal to answer questions at a hearing last week on his handling of the COVID-19 pandemic and its origins. He invoked his Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination more than 100 times. Fauci's lawyer called this morning's vote partisan and accused Senator Rand Paul of abusing his power by trying to weaponize the Justice Department. Iran says it's in the final stages of drafting an agreement with Oman to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. An agreement would ease pressure on the global economy and could help bring an end to the Iran war. But the agreement would likely be contingent on the U.S. lifting its blockade. Also, the proposed deal would give Iran control over ships entering the strait, and that's something the U.S. has said would not happen.
We are here at the Scandinavian Pavilion, as you can hear. Still to come, we'll talk more about the Christmas traditions from across the whole region, and we'll leave you now with some lovely music by the band right here.
Some pretty nice temperatures throughout the long-range period for Winnipeg. Saturday, 23 degrees, up 1 to 24 on Sunday, both days of the weekend. A nice mix of sun and cloud. Into next week, a little warmer, up to 25 Monday, Tuesday. Now, Tuesday, there is the chance of showers. Another chance of showers on Wednesday, a high of 23 degrees. And those overnight lows, too, pretty comfortable for this time of year. For the most part, between 12 and 14 degrees.
Our tour of the world, courtesy of Folklorama, takes us to Northern Europe. Tonight, we're going to check back in with CTV's Taylor Brock, who is busy taking in the sights and sounds of the Scandinavian Pavilion. Hello, Taylor. Are you there? There you are. How's it going?
Hi. That's Icelandic for hi. I have been enjoying this pavilion and exploring all the different rooms. I still haven't gone to them all, but that is because there's quite a few different cultures that are being displayed, but it all kind of centers around one particular holiday, if you can see my hint here. Christmas. I am here currently with Katrin, who spent quite a while overseas. Can you tell me a little bit more about where you were and what Christmas was like there?
Well, I spent most of the time living in Keflavik. Should I hold this? Okay, living in Keflavik, which is on the Southernest Peninsula. And there, the Christmas was very family orientated. On the 23rd, everybody gathers together to have skate for dinner, which it's like a stingray.
Oh, okay.
And it smells really, really awful cooking it. So the younger generation has started to order Domino's instead.
What I do. It really is.
But if you're invited with family, they expect you to have some skate and potatoes.
Okay.
And then after dinner, that's when Christmas really starts for me, is because that's when everybody gets their trees up, is on the 23rd. It's pretty last minute. And the small shops on downtown will be open, and everybody just goes around and visits friends that night and finishes their shopping. And it's so cozy and nice. And then the 24th, so we finally get to bed at like midnight because the shops are open so late. The 24th, your last Yule lad arrives, the candle sneaker, and he often leaves a candle or pajamas for kids.
How do you decide who gets what?
Who gets the candle or the pajamas?
Who gets pajamas?
Well, if you don't want your kids to be eaten, you hope they get pajamas, because otherwise the cat has to come for them. But if you're not too worried, you can just put candles out.
I love how you're also wearing an evil cat shirt.
Yes.
And it really did emphasize how evil that cat was. I mean, in the 5 o'clock show, we were talking a little bit about this.
Yeah.
But for yourself, do you have a particular favorite Yule lad?
I think the one that looks in the windows, window peeper, is hilarious because that's his thing. He just wears like binoculars and he looks in everyone's windows while they're sleeping. And I think that's actually the creepiest. Like the other ones might be licking your dishes and slamming doors, which is kind of annoying. But how can you sleep at night knowing that somebody's coming and looking in your windows and watching you sleep?
So then hopefully on Christmas you get some nice presents and you're not eaten.
Right? Yeah. Well, the idea is you've been diligent and you've got some new clothes and then you're safe.
Wonderful. I'm always interested in new clothes and dominoes and pajamas, so this sounds like a good tradition for this Jewish woman. There's even Santa Claus around. We've said hi a few times, but you'll have to come down to actually meet Santa, Marilee, and he'll tell you if you were on the naughty or nice list, because he's checking it.
All right, you better have been good. Thanks, Taylor.
CTV Skywatch weather brought to you by South Beach Casino and Resort. Visit southbeachcasino.ca.
All right, Colleen, are we going to put you on the naughty or nice list with this forecast tonight?
Depends who you talk to, I think. Yeah, tell you what, there is just an area of instability that entered southern Manitoba this afternoon. It's a little more potent than the trough of low pressure that swung through 24 hours ago, and it's rendered conditions favorable for the development of thunderstorms that could become severe. Doesn't mean we'll see thunderstorms everywhere in the southeast, where Environment Canada has issued a severe thunderstorm watch, including Winnipeg, but the conditions are favorable for it to happen. Let's put it that way. And the southeast and northwestern Ontario is where the focus is for that potentially severe weather to develop in the hours ahead. So we see Winnipeg in the southeast under that severe thunderstorm watch, but as that area of instability continues to push further and further east, we've seen these areas in northwestern Ontario similarly expand further and further to the east. But you see where that more solid yellow is right there, right in the middle of it. That's where we're seeing a severe thunderstorm right now. Now, I need my notes for this one. Now, this one, according to Environment Canada, is 25 kilometers west of White Mud Lake to Ear Falls to Anishinaabe Lake. And as I mentioned earlier, these storms are moving very fast. So if you're in the line of those storms, just be prepared for that. It's producing various size hail, some very strong winds, and an awful lot of rain. Speaking of which, the northern half of the province will see showers tonight, potentially thunderstorms as well. You can see right here entering Ontario as we get a little later on into this evening. That's where we're seeing a particularly heavy band of rain, but scattered back all across the northern half of Manitoba through central areas. Overnight, we're clear down here in the south, but as that scattered rain continues, that will take us right into Friday across really much of central and northern Manitoba, parts of northwestern Ontario as well, but areas further south like Kenora and Dryden looks like they'll be on the sunnier side. Fort Frances too. We get into Friday, sunny for the most part in the south, particularly in the southwest. Here in the southeast, it doesn't look like we'll see some showers pop up in Winnipeg, but areas a little further to the east, and then still scattered all across central and northern regions, and that will continue overnight and into Saturday morning. Meanwhile, we will be sunnier and drier throughout the day on Saturday here in the south. So as for tonight for Winnipeg, at least for the time being, for the next couple of hours or so, showers or thunderstorms could develop and they could become severe. Not saying that necessarily will happen, but conditions are favorable for that. 14 is the low, 15 for the commute tomorrow in the sunshine, light northwest winds, stronger northwest winds in the afternoon, more of a mix of sun and cloud as we get later on into the day with a high of 24 degrees. Up in the north tonight, look out for fog overnight in Churchill, down to 8 there, but Gillam, Island Lake, Thompson all could see showers or thunderstorms tonight. 10 overnight for Thompson, 17 there tomorrow with more showers. In the northwest tonight, a good chance of showers. Flin Flon and the Paw could pick up quite a few millimeters tonight, and then we'll see more on the way tomorrow. Highs in the upper teens. In the southwest tonight, Brandon once again all the way down to 9. Same thing with Dauphin. Mix of sun and cloud around the region tomorrow. Highs 23, 24 under a mix of sun and cloud. Winnipeg in the southeast, again, not a certainty we will see thunderstorms or severe ones, but it is possible yet this evening. Down to 13 here in the city. Similar overnight lows around the region. 23, 24 tomorrow around the southeast. Sunshine or a mix of sun and cloud. And northwestern Ontario, a good chance of thunderstorms, some of them already moving through right now. Cloudy there tomorrow with highs in the low 20s. Our first weather photo is from Tammy out in Lac du Bonnet. We've had a lot of lovely photos from Lac du Bonnet lately, and it's easy to see why. This photo lovely too, not too far away down at Falcon Lake, the beautiful sunrise there. That photo is from Bev. Email us yours to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
Could give them hope for themselves, for a loved one.
It's the leading cause of lung cancer among non-smokers in Canada. Now, a local collaboration is hoping to prevent some of the most severe outcomes of radon exposure. We'll explain how when we return. After Ariana Grande released the music video for Petal last week, the internet lit up with criticism and concern over how thin she looked. Shortly after, we heard the 33-year-old was taking a step back from the spotlight, and ever since, a debate has been raging over whether we should be saying anything at all. Joining me now to discuss that is Patricia Thiel, an associate professor at the College of Rehabilitation Sciences at the U of M. Patricia, good to speak with you.
Yeah, nice to be here.
The discussion over Ariana Grande's weight is really nothing new. It's been going on for some time. Why do you think this video was the tipping point?
I mean, women's appearance has long been subjected to very close scrutiny and judgment in our society. And so their weight in particular is a focus. And celebrity amplifies that. We project our concerns onto celebrity, and the entertainment industry itself has some very harsh body standards for women. So you're right, this is nothing new, and even focus on Ariana is not new. She's just caught up in the latest anxieties around thinness and too much thinness, and it gets sort of twisted into something called health and concern.
You know, while some describe the comments being made as body shaming, others are arguing that they are expressing real concern. Is there a responsible way to have this conversation and talk about this?
Yeah, I think so. And I would start from this. So when we express concern for someone we love, we're generally going to do it in private. We may talk to a few close friends to help us think through how to have the conversation. But we express concern, our audience really should be the person we're concerned about. That's not what happens here, right? People are expressing concern over social media or in conversations with an entirely different audience. And often expressions of concern, particularly on social media, that are about people's bodies but cloaked as health, are really a more socially acceptable way to make judgments or to communicate and reinforce social norms.
What do you say to
that's
those?
How I see it.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. What do you say to those who are, worried about the example this could be setting for young fans who may want to emulate this look?
Oh, I mean, that's a very big topic. It's important. The first is helping young fans understand that bodies come in all sorts of shapes and sizes, and they don't determine our worth. They're going to get a lot of messages in our society that are contrary to that. So helping young people understand that. And just recognizing that, like, Ariana is a 5 foot tall, short and petite woman. She's always been that. Weight is about 75% genetic. So you can start to reframe that conversation that way, and then see as you listen to young people and continue talking with them, see where they go.
Yeah, seeing as this is dominating headlines, a lot of parents are fielding questions from their kids. We know the kids are watching how, everyone is reacting to this. Should we be talking to our kids about body image, given what's happening right now?
Absolutely. So we should always be talking to children about body image, because their body image is being formed. And if we as parents aren't involved in the conversation, then they're just getting it other places, and we're having no sort of input into that. So absolutely, we should be having conversations with children, and also remembering that children are absorbing and learning from what's happening around them. So they're picking up on parents' own self-judgments of their body, and their own sort of actions in the world, like what they eat or how they exercise. So children are like picking up and absorbing that. So there's both the active conversation, but there's also setting an example of healthy body image for children.
Well, Patricia, an important conversation. Thanks for your guidance with it tonight. Appreciate speaking with you.
Yeah, it's great to chat. Thanks so much.
Manitoba researchers are hoping a new partnership will help cut the number of people being diagnosed and having serious outcomes from lung cancer caused by radon. Radon is a colorless, tasteless, odorless gas that seeps into homes through the ground. It's the leading cause of lung cancer among those who have never smoked and is responsible for an estimated 16% of all lung cancer deaths in Canada. Now, the Manitoba Lung Association, St. Boniface Hospital Research Foundation, and a Manitoba company called Biomark Diagnostics are hoping to make early detection easier.
Really, it's about establishing a simple blood-based test based on biomarker innovative technology that will allow us to establish early detection of lung cancer. In our context, we're looking specifically at radon-induced lung cancer.
Early detection will help save lives and lessen the burden on the healthcare system. And while the researchers are focusing on radon-induced lung cancer at the moment, we're told the same techniques could be used to minimize the health impacts of wildfire smoke. A new study shows marijuana use in the United States has now surpassed cigarette smoking. It comes from the National Survey on Drug Use and Health. It shows in 2025, nearly 44 million Americans use marijuana, while 36 million smoke cigarettes. Marijuana use was highest among young adults between 18 and 25, while cigarette use was highest among adults 26 and older. Despite marijuana's growing popularity, alcohol use still far exceeds marijuana and cigarettes. The study found nearly 130 million Americans currently drink alcohol. 44% of those are binge drinkers.
Medical Watch is brought to you by Manuke and Koster Denture Clinic.
Giddy up! Why some of the nation's finest horses are galloping into Manitoba this week. Those details next in Spotlight.
Spotlight, sponsored by the Casinos of Winnipeg, presenting the Northern Pikes and Barney Bentall.
Well, you do not need a plane ticket to pay a visit to the Emerald Isles this week. And it's not just for the world-class footwork you can look forward to this year at the Irish Pavilion. You can get to know the style and history of Celtic art through the pavilion's cultural displays, this year heavily inspired by the famous centuries-old manuscript, the Book of Kells. And what would be a trip to Ireland without a little whiskey tasting?
We have two cocktails this year, the McElroy, which is Irish whiskey infused tea. Very, very good, very dangerous. And the Mayo All-Star, which is a watermelon whiskey-based cocktail.
Very dangerous. You can check out the pavilion for the rest of this week over at Soul Sanctuary. That is located on Chevrier Boulevard in the Linden Ridge area. Well, here's your opportunity to get your steps in and learn about the city's rich art history. The Winnipeg Art Council's Art Walks continue through to the end of August. The free guided tours offer you not only a chance to see notable public artworks and monuments, but to learn about their history, composition, and inspiration. Art is, of course, open to interpretation, and yours is heavily encouraged.
So we talk a little bit about the artist's intention and the behind-the-scenes stories, which is always kind of fun things about construction that you learn, or about complications around the site or whatnot. But then Chloe makes sure that she asks you what you think about the art, and so you get to learn from your neighbors kind of what they bring to it as well. So it's just like a really fun way to get out and to get to know your city and your neighbors.
And it's not only walking tours. You can strap on your bike helmet for art rides as well. You can head to winnipegarts.ca to find out the schedule and to register. Well, some of the nation's best horses have trotted into Brandon this week. Canada's National Arabian Horse Show opens today at the Keystone Centre. It will see upwards of 300 purebred and half Arabian horses. Their riders and handlers compete in competitions ranging from performance halter to dressage and reining. The show is one of Canada's leading Arabian horse events. It runs today through August 15th. Your Thursday primetime lineup kicks off at 7 with The Big Bang Theory. Children Ruin Everything is next at 8, and Traders Canada wraps things up at 9. It's all right here tonight on CTV.
Stick around. After the break, we're going to take you back to Folklorama's Scandinavian Pavilion, where tonight's festivities are just getting underway.
Women's clothing provided by RW & Company. Salon services provided by S&T Spa Salon.
Well, we got up to 28 degrees today, but look at that record. 1988, 38.7 degrees. Yikes. Tonight, down to 13. Now, there's still a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for the city, so there's still the possibility of thunderstorms that could become severe this evening. Overnight, that threat will be behind us. Mostly sunny on Friday, up to 24 degrees. We'll see sunshine through the weekend. Temperatures in the low to mid-20s, and then a little warmer as we get into next week.
Looks good. All right, before we go tonight, we are going to take one last look at Folklorama's Scandinavian pavilion. If you want to check it out for yourself in person, you still have plenty of time to do so. There are 2 more shows tonight, and this pavilion, along with all of the other Week 1 pavilions, continue running right until Saturday. And check back with us tomorrow because our tour around the world is going to continue. We are going to visit the First Nations pavilion tomorrow night. For now, though, enjoy some of the action from the Scandinavian pavilion at Folklorama.